Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. Japa kusuma samkasham kashapeyam mahajutim amorim sarva papagnyam pranatosmi divakaram. Om. Dadi Shankha Tusharabam Kshirodarnavasambhavam Namami Shashinam Somam Shambhor Muktabhushanam. Om Dharani Garbhasambhutam Vidyut Kanti Samaprabham Kumaram Shakti Hastam Tam Mangalam Pranamamyaham. Om Priyangu Kalika Shamam Ruperna Pratimam Buddham Saumyam Saumya Gunopetam Tam Buddham Pranamamyaham. Om Devanam cha Rishinam cha Gurum kam cha Nasannibam Buddhibhutam Trilokesham Tam Namami Brihaspatim. Om Himakunda Mrinalabam Daityanam Paramam Gurum Sarvashastra Pravaktaram Bhargavam Pranamamyaham. Om Nilanjana Samabhasham Raviputram Yamagrajam Chayamartanda Sambhutam Tam Namami Shanaicharam. Om Ardhakaya Mahaviram Chandraditya Vimardanam Simhika Garbhasambhutam Tamraham Pranamamyaham. Om Palasha Pushpa Sankasham Tarakagrahamastakam Raudram Raudratmakam Ghoram Tam Ketum Pranamamyaham. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Namaste everyone. Now we are going to speak a little bit about the meaning, the interpretation of what is written in Gayatri Brahmana, in the book that is published by Ernest Weilheim, and the energy of the 27 lunar mansions. This one is just the part of the Nakshatras. I'm taking here the one that is the original one that Ernst sent me December 12th, 2019, almost 1 year ago. And I did a proper translation to Portuguese for the first part of the book. But the second part of the book, where it is with the translation itself of the verses relating to the Nakshatras, starting with Kritika, I could not translate it properly because when I was doing the translation to Portuguese, I started changing a lot of things because I said, okay, this isn't. I'm not saying that it was not good because Ernest says in his book that he's not pretending to make a proper translation. He is making a rough translation in the sense that he is willing that people spend some time in the meaning of the verses. So, for example, here, Kritika is going to be noted as white spots. White spots of Agni. This is not actually a wrong translation. It can be translated like that. But I decided to make interpretation in a sense that from my Sanskrit study, it's not possible to make a translation without the context and so on. I've been studying Sanskrit for the past 2 or 3 years, mainly for Ayurveda and in Ashtanga Hridaya, but it's, how do I say this in English? It spills over to the Jyotish also. So the main point here for us today is to give a broad overview of the spiritual journey of the 27 nakshatras. In this way, I'm not saying that this is going to be the correct translation. I'm just saying that this is what I believe that is meaningful for me. And for my studies of the nakshatras is one of the topics that I study more in Jyotisha. So, in this video also I'm going to send to Ernst, saying to him, look, the first part of the book is properly translated to Portuguese. The second part, I couldn't. I'm sorry. I interpret also. So let's start. And I'm going to take the Portuguese part. First of all, before I go into the showing the Portuguese and translating to English, I would like also to show the preparation of Sanskritam. And saying parastat is going to be understood as the thing that is more energetic, more subtle, more sukshma, more celestial, less material, less tangible. And avastat is going to be the concrete expression of it, not the abstract, not the celestial, the mundane, the earthly, the concrete, and so on. So it's always going to be like this. There's going to be a Devata with its nakshatra showing, having two densities, the sukshma, the celestial one, parastat, and the grosser, the concrete, the stula, other, avastat. And this in the David Frawley's and so on book is going to be from above, from below, but I would rather to translate as the abstract or the subtle manifestation, or the subtle principle, this is better, and the concrete derivation, this is good, like that. Okay, so now here I'm going to be going over the Portuguese version, but in a way that I'm going to be translating this to English, the parastat and the avastat parts. Starting to from with Kritika. Through the shining and refreshing stars of Kritika, which are owned by Agni, where Agni has its power, the Devata. Now, purity is the energetic principle, and the light of wisdom is the concrete manifestation derived from purity, or kind of the soul. So this represents the birth of the human being after going through Bharani, through the vaginal canal, and this we're going to be, in the end, the last nakshatra will be there. Following the second one, starting from Kritika, there is going to come Rohini, and Prajapati is the Lord, the owner, the ruler, the proprietor, whatever. And Rohini is going to be the field. There is going to always to be this idea. The Devata is going to be the farmer, and the Nakshatra is going to be the field. And Chandra is going to be the prana going there. So the subtle energy is the baptism of celestial waters like Ganga or whatever. And the concrete derived manifestation is going to be the herbs and medicinal plants, in the sense that they clean and they keep the person alive. The baptism starts the life in the sense that it's clear, it's stamped. You can go. And the Oshada, the herbs, is going to be the manifestation, in the sense that with that you can survive, you can grow, you cannot die. So the baptism is the same in a more subtle principle. Third is going to be Mrigashira, with Soma as Devata, and the Mrigashira here called as Invaka, being this field, this nakshatra. The energetic principle is going to be fecundity, in the sense that things start to develop or to create space to become new things. And the concrete manifestation, this is going to be weaving, like when the mother and the child, the milk feeds and nourishes, and this allows a space of nurturing and development. So in this stage, the boy is already, or the child is already kind of with 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. And then it comes the age where we start to need to question a little bit our mother, mainly. This comes with Ardra Nakshatra. And the Devata is Rudra. And the Nakshatra is Bahu here, meaning the two arms, or the two instruments, like the thunder and the lightning. This is going to be another way to call to refer to Ardra Nakshatra. And the energetical principle is going to be the desire, the aspiration for a new space, a new life, a new beginning, a new stage. This quest, Johnny Quest. And the material principle is going to be the journey itself, like in Indiana Jones and so on. So this process of becoming a hero, like with the strength of a bow, it's the idea in this journey that it has to break the strong dependence of the mother mainly, and the father also. Here in Punarvasu Nakshatra, Aditi is going to be the Devata, but there is a slight Sanskrit difference here. The verse is not saying that Punarvasu Nakshatra is of Aditi. Here the verse is saying that Aditi is kind of expressing through Punarvasu, but Punarvasu is not actually hers. This is not very clear why it had this change, because from a metrical point of view, it's not needed. So in this nakshatra and also mula, probably there are some secret meaning behind this chaturthi for not shashti, but whatever. Here the peaceful state is reestablished through the presence of this Devata, this great mother, Mary Virgin, and so on, and the purification of stress as Vata, as the wind that cleans, is the energetical principle, and the humidity that creates the opportunity for fructification. Here, Ara is not pain or crying. Ara here is moisture, that thing that it's in the night, in the beginning of the day. But it's dew. It's a very good thing. And just one nakshatra before, Adra usually has a very crying and not terrible, but difficult way of handling stuff. The next nakshatra is going to be Pusha, and the name here is going to be Tisha, not Tisha, Tisha, being the auspicious one, ruled, owned, governed by Brihaspati. And the energetical principle is going to be the tongue of Agni, in the sense of the ability to take with the smoke, with its tongue upwards, the subtle parts of manifestation. So this is the idea of elevating human experience to divine angelical experience. And Yajamana as the persons, the people that practice spiritual sadhana, spiritual practice, in order to reconnect themselves with greater forces. So in our broad representation in Tisha, Pusha, the boy it's around, or the girl it's with 14, 15, and so on. And here there is back the necessity to realign with the mother and the father, not in the sense of being again what it's in 8 years old before this caustic process started, but the idea of seeing that all the things of the father and mother is not completely wrong, everything. Then Aslesha Sarpa, ruled by Asresha, is the process of being taken by love, completely surrendered by passion and so on. So in this nakshatra, you cannot go away of this emotional process. The parastat principle is getting around, just like an anaconda, envelops, surrounds the animal and crush it. This is the idea of love in this stage of 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, whatever. And the principle, the mundane principle, is the idea of a non-straightforward action. Like when you are in love with someone, sometimes you cannot show this properly. You get afraid, you get careful, you're not acting rationally 100%. And then in Magha Nakshatra, the Pitris are breaking, are more directly related experience with our father and mother and our family. And here we are starting our second journey to this world, when we are not going to be any longer just son or daughter. We're going to become also father or mother. In this process, we start the second pariyaya, the tamas pariyaya from Simha. If you believe that Maga it relates to Simha, there are different views that do not believe in this. But the idea here is that the process of breaking from the spirituality is rudanta, is spirituality in the sense that the material, the concrete existence, it plays a very large role. So you have to become responsible for other beings, your child, and so on. And apabramsha is the forgetting process. Just like in the Greeks, there was the river Letea, when the souls crossed and they forgot their memories from previous lives. This apabramsha is the same of losing the track of previous lives and starting to be 100% ready for the materialistic existence, in the sense that we have some role to, some duty to make, to follow, to be responsible. Let's see if there is any question in the chat. Just 1 second. Namaste, everyone. So once again, let's go for some more nakshatras. Sharing again. So in Purva Phalguni, we are going to have Aryaman or Bhaga, depends. They can exchange. Jaya is going to be here understood as the energetic principle, in the sense that is the materiality expanding, in the sense that people is getting pregnant, and the Rishabha, the bull, with the in the sense that he's showering sperm to make a new life. The dhatu of Vrishabha is to shower, in the sense that the monsoons shower rains, the bull showers sperm. So this is the idea that people are getting, that boy, girl is now becoming father, daughter, father or mother. In Uttara Palguni, there is going to be Bhaga or Areman, depending on how you see it. And here, the parastat is going to be being taken, being completely taken. And the avastat, the mundane principle, is going to be Vahamana. Vaham is like the thing that carries you. So here you're going to be completely carried by your desires to become reproductor of this circle of life. In Hasta, the Devata is going to be Savitu, and here he represents the glory of a new cycle. Just like when he is coming in the sky, a new cycle one day is coming. So Prasava, like being the discipline or the need of the discipline for commitment as parastat, and Sani as the fruit or the pala, the consequence of this discipline, in the sense that you start to realize that you cannot do everything that you want. You need to kind of put yourself in a second instance, so you can have the reward of being a good father and seeing your child's growing healthy and properly. So here Chitra, it's related here to Indra. There is some things about if this is Twastar or Indra, but in this Taittiriya Brahmana, Indra appears 3 times, but this not necessarily relate that we are saying about the same Indra with the thunders and so on. Because Indra only means, in a more basic sense, one who has achieved the control of their senses. This can be Indra, the god, in that sense, but it can also be epithet for other things. Whatever. Ritam is the idea of order and justice. Divine order, divine justice. This word was the main word in Vedic culture before Dharma and so on. And Satyam is a more kind of feeble comparing to this higher truth. Satyam is the ideal of truth in the material, the human plane, but it's still a very high concept. In this way, in Chitra, we start to have our child's and also our life starting to realize the cosmic order and the cycles and the need of being in a higher scheme of life. In just a second, this has to be deleted. In Nishtya Swati, we have process that is just like the mid-30s crisis, where things go wrong. Simply as that. So people start to get some anguishness, vratati, in the sense that is kind of the wind saying, and in the human experience, this brings anguish. Here in the place that we live now, it wins a lot. It goes for 20 more or more. What is the unit in English for that? Knots. I don't know if knots, but it's strong wind, and the windows start to shake, and the spaces start to howl, woo, woo, woo. And this creates a sense of what I'm going to do. It's too strong. It's too much information. It's too much reunions with the parents in the school of the child. This is the point where the parents start to say, are we going to be able to handle this process? When they were young, with 5, 7 years old, it was okay. But now they are 10, 12, 15, it's very difficult to handle. So this kind of turbulence comes in Swati Nakshatra and in Vishaka. Now it's in Ragni, this Batman Robin conjugation. They reach a breaking point, not breaking point, critical point, turning point. Yogani is to become reunited again, and Krishamana is to soul, to become in the stage that it will be possible to sprout. So after this crisis where the parents were in 30 or whatever, and the childs were in 14, 13, 15, and time passes, and the teenagers become a little bit older, and they start to go to 17, 18, 19, and there is a kind of split. They cannot stay so close anymore. So father and mother needs to rethink their lives now that their role of bearing the child is, I'm not saying that in Vedic culture was like this, but this is according to modern world reading of this process. Each culture will need to adapt this to their reality, but this exercise that we are doing here is to understand the development, the journey, the spiritual journey through the nakshatras. This is the title of the video today. So there was an existential crisis here in Swati. In Vishaka, this starts to create different tracks, to open different tracks. And in Anuradha, Mitra Devata is going to give you some support, just like Aditi was important to support after Adra Nakshatra. Here Mitra is going to reassure you. Anuradha is a kind of having a lot of resources, having a lot of confidence. So here there is going to be the starting point of the need for spiritualization in the life of people, because they when the child leave their parents, if they leave, but let's suppose they do, this is a kind of first death for the parents. And in this way, there is a sensation. Things are not going to be like this forever. Things are going to change. In the energetic principle, this is the need for a spiritual quest, not a materialistic one. And here, the concrete manifestation is the searching in the material ground for things that are going to help them in this process of dealing with frustrations. Frustrations, mainly the idea that we are going to die someday. And in Jeshta Nakshatra, we are going to finish the second pariyaya from Magha to Jeshta. And here, again, we have Indra. Usually these appear as Indra in all the modern concepts. And Rohini here is also being used, but the Rohini of what we call Rohini usually, let's go back. This is an important point to talk a little bit about the Sanskrit itself. The Rohini of Prajapati was in this context something that is just like a baby that is born, is very chubby and pinky. This Rohini is a kind of whitish red. It's very charming, but it's the charming of the baby in this process that we are taking. In this second one, Rohini, this redness is a kind of thing that make you completely obsessed of achieving that. So Shnat is a search that you do with all your strengths, your forces. And Pratishnat, once again, Pratishnat is the completely destruction of what? Of the idea that your life is just to raise your child and to be a good father. There should be something more than that. There has to be a spiritual quest that makes this life purposeful, even if the material things start to split, to drive away. And again, we come to Mula Nakshatra with Nriti Devata. And here again, it's in Chaturthi. Nrityai, not Nrityasya. Nrityasya. That was just what would be as it's of the other 25, except Punarvasu with Adityai, as we spoke before. So this is not the nakshatra of Nriti. It's where Nriti expresses its forces. It's kind of for the idea, not of. But in English, this, to make sense, it's through the black holes of dissolution of materiality. The parastat is to break, to remove, to crush all the attachments that we have on the idea that I will do and I will raise and I, my, I, mine, why, I, to the place where the person reaches a process of rebirth. Rebirth from the idea that he is God, in the sense that he is almighty, to the sense that God's in him, the sense that God is an energy higher than him, more complete than him. And he has to be with the purpose of serving this higher consciousness, going beyond the materialistic beliefs. This is should be. I have to edit this part because something happened here, but whatever. Later I do that. And finally, we reach to Purvashada with Appa Devata, being again the celestial waters, but here the celestial waters is in a sense that the person is not being reborn from the energetic life to the mundane life. He's being reborn from the mundane life to the spiritualistic life, where the idea is to serve more the world, and the idea is to serve more the world other than the world serving him, her more. So Varcha is the idea of creating energy for this new process. This is, if you understand this in Dhanurashi, the need to develop spiritualistic tools, apps nowadays. And the avastat is the idea of being ready to start the new mission. Just like when the guy in the army say, yes, sir. Or in the yoga mat, you stay in samasti, and that pose of, I'm going to start some salutation now. This spirit of being ready for the new stage of life, the new ordainment. I don't know if in English this word exists. It's a little bit late now here. This live was supposed to be like 10 hours ago, but so my vata is not completely 100%. Mainly to talk in English. Uttarashada, here Vishwadeva, or the supreme regents. The idea is that in the next nakshatra, Vishnu, the president, is going to appear. So here, people that prepare the conference with the president, they are doing a conference with you, saying, what is your abilities, how you can serve, what is your experience? It's kind of human resource background. So the Vishwadevas are backgrounding all your skills and your pitfalls and saying, look, you do it. You are qualified. This is the parastat. Believe that you are able. And in the avastat, abhijitam, is the greatest conquest that you can get. That is the idea of truly, deeply willing to serve divine consciousness, God, universe, whatever. And here, Vishnu appears in Shravana, where Neo is talking with the architect. Here, all the energies of existence are being are becoming evident. Prichamanaha, as the parastat energy, is when you see Mahavishnu and say, look, you're really great. I'm really small. What can I do for you? You are so magnanimous. This humbly prostration to the lotus feet of divine consciousness is the parastat, the energetic principle. And panta, okay, I have to do this. Okay, I have to do that. The how do we translate this in English? Not regulations, the orientations. It can be orientations. The orientations of how to serve. When Krishna is talking to Arjuna, look, you have to kill Bhishma. This is the idea of Panta. Some orientations are being given in the sense you really want to develop yourself spiritually. Maybe this is not going to be so easy. Maybe you need to have a second thought on this, because we are really interested in make you pure of the identification with materialistic world. Here you have a great challenge to prove your faith, that living for God, living for supreme consciousness, it's important, even if this is crazy in the materialistic sense. In the Nishta, we have the vasos, giving the directions, the 8 directions, or the 8 forces, or the 8 principles for you to accomplish this task. And the parastat is going to be the divine laws, the divine commandments, and the avastat is going to be the idea that Muhammad has those rules, or Jesus, whatever, and I have to follow them, not because my church says so, but because I need to follow them. It's my inner truth that says that I need to go after them. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit costly in the point of ego and so on, but there is this fortress of Shraddha, of faith there. Shatabhishak, Nakshatra, it's going to come Indra again, but here Indra is going to be the greatest champion. He has achieved the idea that not only in this life, not only in this universe, but through all lives, through all universe, through all kinds of manifestations, we should remember that we are here to serve. Vishnu, or whatever, whoever you want to say, it's only here to serve. So we need to follow his example. In Bhagavad Gita, there is also a part that Krishna says, I mainly serve. And if I stop serving, people can say, oh, divine consciousness is not serving anymore, so I can also not serve. But there is not this possibility. Here the Indra is in the sense that this strong, firm, 100% clear sensation of serving is attained, and the person is willing to see in material life an opportunity to be serving everyone in the best way it's possible. And finally, we reach the end of Kumbha and the beginning of Meena Rashi. Not necessarily, I know, but supposing that Ashwini starts Mesha, it will go like this. You don't have to agree with that, don't worry. So Aja is also the beginning of something that it's not depending on a creator. to become, just like consciousness is aja, is not produced. Ekapada, strongly doing tapasya, just like in those 3 postures and so on. In Purva Parapada, Vaishwavanaram, all the manifestations of spiritual evolution become as parastats, and Vaishwavavasam, all the manifestations in the human ground to evolve is the idea that here, even though we are already serving Vishnu and we are seeing opportunity to serve everywhere, there is still samskaras in our track. And in Purva Bharapada, we should be handling all our samskaras, all our dronas that are taking over. Saying that drona is the samskaras and ashwatthama is the vasanas, but this is another issue. The idea here is that the soul is starting to disconnect with this life and start to prepare for another life. So in Purva Bharapada, the person starts to die, and this is the process that initially all the samskaras start to come from this life. And when the person gets to a place where it's kind of dying, it's in a bridge stage. This is Uttara Bharapada, and just like when we are in our mother's womb, we recollect a lot of memories from other lives. When we are almost dead, we also in this process we start to remember a lot of our vasanas, our deeply rooted patterns. So in Uttara Bharapada, Ahir Budnyas is giving us the strength to have, I don't know how to say this in English, when Christ has this water going through him, this abhishek, let's say like this, being, sorry, I don't remember this word now, but it's the idea of having milk or oil or whatever, all being put over the body, in the sense that we are kind of getting inside the womb again. We're being covered with liquid. So this, it's not actually the baptism, it's a different energy. It's similar to the energy of the pharaohs that were going to be mummified. The material manifestation, abhi sumvataha, is like the mummification, but the energetic principle is the preparation for transmigration. So in Uttara Bhadраpada, we are preparing for transmigration, and this transmigration will take place mainly in Pusha. Pusha, I mean Revati Nakshatra through Pusha. Pushan. Pushan is the boatman of the Greeks, that is taking the experience and the knowledge of the reincarnation process. This Gavava, this can also be cows, but cows in the sense in the Vedic culture just represent. It represents the storage of spiritual understanding of how life goes. You should take whatever it's less and produce a lot. You graze the wet, not the wet, what is the meaning of that? The grass, and you produce milk, you produce urine, you produce poop. What is the name of poop? The cow's poop. For the Vedic culture, the cow is just like a fine representation of serving in life with wisdom, with humbleness, with sweetness, a lot of things. It's really the heaven in earth. So this is parastat, the ability, the knowledge to understand, to go through this process of reincarnation in a lucid manner, and the vatsa, the little calves, is the process of reincarnation. So Pushan is driving us from one realm of almost dead to the place where we are still not reingressing to this world. Ashwini Kumara is going to be the Devata of Ashwini, and for us they are going to represent the sperm and the ovum. They are going to create a community, a thing that is going to develop several times in a very short of time and create an embryo. So grama here would be the principle where the embryo comes. Sena, it's also translated as an army, but this here we get as an army of cells. They have a very intrinsic organization. And to finish for today, Yama. Actually, he is not the god of death. He is the god of disrupture. The previous lives are going to die for this life to start in Kritika again. So in Bharani, you're being carried. The dhatu of Bharani is Bharane, to carry, to give this from one place to another place. When the FedEx or whatever is carrying your product, is this idea of Bharani. I'm not just carrying this water for me. Bharani has the idea of carrying something to other. So Yama here is kind of killing your previous life from your memory and from your consciousness. And the parastat is the ability to let go the past. And the avastat is apa vahanta, to go down. And to go down means to go down from the tummy, let's say like this, through the vaginal canal and to be born. Okay, this 1 hour, it's enough for today. Let's see if there is any questions in the chat. No, thank God. Not that I don't like questions, but I'm really tired. So this is my 1 hour presentation for a thing that we usually in our Jyotish classes take much more time. This is very synthetic, but since it's in Portuguese and I would like to send this to Ernst and other people, it's also here in English. Thank you. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishate Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrityorma Mritam Gamaya Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. Namaste everyone. If you want to put some comments in the comment section, please do so. Share your thoughts. Namaste.